Sorry. Are you okay?
I'm fine, thank you.
Oh, the camera's rolling. Hello guys, welcome to the Dynamo Muppet podcast where we're going to discuss... fuck it.
Do you want me to have it on here, mate?
Yeah. Hello guys, welcome back to the Dynamo Muppet FC channel. Today we've got something a bit special for you. We've got a podcast discussing issues in football. On the left of me I've got Harry Shepherd, a man who's more Redder United fan than anyone I know. And on the right of me I've got the most northern Chelsea fan I ever know, Liam Richardson. But before we get in, Liam, can you tell us about your new job you got?
Yeah, over Christmas I was contacted by Stockport County of the National League North, and I've taken up a position there running their social media throughout the week, and on match days as well. I run the Instagram account, and yeah, it's a really exciting role. I'm looking forward to helping them progress alongside the Dynamo Muppets.
Oh, that was pretty good. Can you see any differences being with non-league and the Premier League now that you're in a role with non-league?
Yeah, there's a big difference. I think that's why they were looking for new people to come onto the team, because they are lagging about 10 years behind the rest of the social media world. But hopefully now, with me and a few other people that they've hired, we can bring them up to speed and hopefully progress along with the team.
That's pretty good. We're not here to talk about a place that has port in its name but doesn't have a port in it. We're here to talk about an issue of football with United's new manager and how he's getting on, and do you think he could get a permanent job? Harry, would you like to start?
Yeah. I think Ole is 100% suited for the United job. He's, like he said in recent interviews, he is a Manchester United product. He sees himself as a Manchester United product because he did his coaching badges over here. Most of his footballing life has been here, so he's very accustomed to everything. He knows the club inside out. He knows all the history, and you got Sir Alex Ferguson. He will constantly lend an ear in terms of management, and the fact that he's overtaken Sir Matt Busby in terms of most league games won as you start as a manager. So and 8 games on the trot, and even with all the press and all fans that hate Man United,
pessimistic,
pessimistic,
like this one over here.
Exactly. People say it's only Huddersfield, it's only Cardiff.
But we've beaten Spurs.
But then you go to Spurs, you go to Arsenal, and then you get the job done over there. You can see the quality that he brings, and plus, people say that he's all just laughs and smiles and everything like that, which he does bring, which is a damn sight different to what Mourinho brought to the team. I just think that if you see his videos, like when he was training with Mulder, and you saw him have a right good go, and Lingard has said that he has got a hairdryer in him as well. So it shows that he's got that good balance. He's calm, he's collected, he's still young, he's still learning. Even you could possibly say that yes, it might have been not a great time that he had at Cardiff, but that he's learnt something from that. And his time in Mulder, he's got that winning mentality, and he's got that attacking philosophy, which is just superb. It actually feels good to be a United fan again, which I really enjoy.
That's pretty good. Liam, would you like to say anything about that?
It's a difficult question to answer. I think in the short term, yes, I think Solskjær has done a very good job of stabilising United. I think he's the right man. I think he's certainly the right man for the job in the short term until the end of the season. In the long term, I'm less convinced. I think coming in as a caretaker manager, I think that's a very different job and different complexity to taking the job full time. I think if you come in as a caretaker, I think you look in the past, people like Di Matteo, people like Craig Shakespeare at Leicester. It's a lot easier to come in and kind of say to the players, okay, well, you know what you want to do. You kind of let them coach themselves. I think it's very different when you've got the job in the long term and you have to kind of implement your own philosophy, your own coaching style, your own tactics, and I think that's when maybe we'll see Solskjær's own shortcomings. I think it's very easy when you're winning games. As United are
all about winning at the end of the day.
Yeah, of course, and he's done. Obviously, it's not easy to win those games. I'm not taking that away, but I think the real test of his capability to manage Manchester United will come when you are losing a game, where you are low on confidence, and that's when that's when players turn to their manager to look for inspiration, look for tactical ideas, look for insight. I look at Solskjær's time at Cardiff. I'm not convinced he's necessarily the right man for that.
But as a player, can I just say he's done it all? So, when a player says
it has, situation. But many great players have gone into management and not succeeded.
Yeah, look at Thierry, he's just left Monaco.
Look, and I agree with the fact that he knows the club and he knows the philosophy. But I think, so look at Milan in recent years; they've gone down that road a lot. They hired Seedorf, Inzaghi, Gattuso's there now. It's not always necessarily worked out for the best.
No, however, he did bring back in Mike Phelan, which I think was a really
That's
mature.
massive.
I think that was a mature move from him.
When you look at the backroom staff, he's got Michael Carrick there as well, and
Kieran McKenna, who's also an experienced coach with the reserves as well. He's got that whole Manchester United base back, which I think from the get-go is incredible. Because Mourinho brought in his own backroom staff and everything. But I think the fact that he's had that power to clear out what and bring in what he needs, I think is perfect. And he's got good connections with Mike Phelan. Mike Phelan had been at the club 16 years. He's got that knowledge. I think that a lot of the tactics might even come from Mike Phelan. But I think it's a learning process for him. And I think to go on to win your first 8 games. And he's even kept level-headed in every single press conference.
He never goes above.
No, he always he always goes tradition, and he says because we will lose the game at some point. So he's keeping the lads' heads on the ground, and he's not getting too high.
I agree with your point about Phelan. I made a note of it myself. I think Phelan's had a greater impact than Solskjær in many ways. Perhaps. He was there through that really successful Ferguson era, and I think letting him go was perhaps the biggest mistake of David Moyes' time at the club. He came in and got rid of Phelan straight away.
Steve Round or someone like that.
And
Phil Neville.
I think that was
the other Neville.
Probably, obviously, he made a lot of mistakes while he was at United, but I think letting go of Mike Phelan was probably up there with the biggest.
This is my theory. Do you think Ole will suffer if he got the job on a permanent? The same problem that David Moyes had when he wants to sign new players, that they won't really want to go play for him because they don't know him that well as a manager. For example, say what you like about Mourinho, but as a player, when you heard the name Jose Mourinho, the special one rang in your head, you'd want to go play with him. Do you think Ole will have that problem if he got the job on the permanent?
I'm not convinced that was entirely the issue that Moyes had. I think the issue was that he wasn't in charge of transfers. Ed Woodard was, and I think he certainly has his limitations. But it's interesting that when they sacked Mourinho, they did mention that when they announce a new manager, they're also planning to announce a director of football, whoever that might be. Solskjær, if he got the job,
hopefully not Ed Woodward. I'll take that job too.
He probably wouldn't have too much say in transfers anyway. But at the end of the day, I still think United's squad does have several severe limitations within it.
Defence. I think defence is still a big issue.
He's 5 goals.
I'm not convinced.
In the 8 games that he's become in charge, I think that's what he's only had 8 games to come in. But I think he's definitely shored it up a bit more. I think Lindelof is going to be coming of age. I think he's only 22, 23. He's a very young defender. Phil Jones, he's iffy. Him and Smalling, it could be.
Would
the
you
end
get rid
of
of them too?
Helps when your manager's not calling your left back a fat bastard.
Exactly.
In the press.
He televised that.
He got exactly the same from Louis van Gaal. They told him he was unfit. I think when Ole's the kind of guy who will instill this belief into United, and I think that's perfect. He knows firsthand from an experienced player, how to get the best out of people and how to, Ole as a player, he'd stay on the bench for 78
like
minutes of
George
the game.
Rebeck.
No. Put his gif in. He used to stay on the bench for the majority of the game. Yet he knew exactly the reason why he scored so many goals from the bench was because he's so tactically astute. He knew exactly what was going on in the game.
Do you think that's helping Rashford, by the way?
I think so. I think the fact that Rashford has scored, I think, five goals, something stupid like that, since he's come in. He's made a handful of assists as well. He's bringing in that knowledge, not just of finishing, but of holding up the ball. Against Brighton, he made a lovely little flick off to Delort, and then it was really well worked and good feet, good composure. You can see. I reckon Marcus Rashford already had that in him, but Mourinho
very negative.
Very negative. They weren't playing to United's strengths, and we even saw Lukaku. As much as he gets the mickey taken out of him, he was superb against Arsenal. I think he was fantastic.
I think the key word is confidence.
Yes,
really. I think that's the biggest difference. This was a team on its knees under Mourinho. And it was so visible. We could all see it. No more so than Pogba. I think that's probably the best example.
Of course.
I think you could maybe question the attitude of the players in the long term if they're down tools for Mourinho when they didn't like what was going on. Would they do that again?
Yeah.
You know, it's like I said, I saw it very well with Di Matteo when he took over AVB. A very similar situation, and I think the first 3 games we won, including beating Napoli 4-1 in the Champions League.
Great.
And you know, it is a confidence thing. But in the long term, when he got the job,
He signed Di Matteo's. Who did he get for you in the January? Did he get Hazard?
Hazard, Oscar. But I think the issue was we started the season after really well. I think we won 4 of our first 5.
You got out of Champions
5
League
of our
in the
first
group
6.
stage, though, didn't you? Benitez
Yeah,
came in.
that's my point. When things
Yeah.
started to go badly, things very quickly fell
I
apart.
think that's just a general problem with
Chelsea problem.
It's a general problem, isn't it? You know, if you saw last season with Frank de Boer, he got 4 games and that was it. He was out on his ear. You know, I think that's wrong personally. You know, because it took Roy Hodgson another 4 games to win a game.
Yeah.
You know, but they kept him in.
Yeah.
They still hadn't scored.
This
for him
issue
until-
that's coming is player power, isn't it? Like, there's just massive.
I think player power. I think it's all about respect. I think respect comes with respect. You know what I mean? Like with Mourinho, I don't think there was any mutual respect at all. So that's why Pogba, you probably say he down tools or whatever. But I think it's just frustration. It's pure frustration. You know, but with Ole Gunnar Solskjær, he's going to show him the utmost respect. You know, he's going to play him in the positions he wants to play in. He wants to run forward. He will run forward. You saw him against Arsenal. In pretty much every game, he's been fantastic. His ball against Spurs was fabulous. Everything about everyone's game has lifted because of Solskjær.
Yeah.
It may be the tactics also of Mike Phelan, but also I think just the energy that he brings. Because I got to a point as a devout Man United fan where I'd see a YouTube video that was titled Mourinho press conference, and I just wouldn't want to watch it at all. I knew what it was going to be. It was all going to be
became very repetitive.
But don't you think the issue of the wicked witch of Old Trafford is Mourinho is gone? You know, don't you think
the
that's
curse is
more?
lifted,
More of a motivational tool than Ollie in a
I
position.
think the question is,
That's
could anyone have come in and done the same?
Yeah, that's what.
But I don't know. I probably because I'll be honest with you, Ollie wasn't on my list at all. I thought it was going to be Pochettino because everyone raves about him. You know, but like,
would you like Pochettino in the United role next season? Or do you think?
yeah, he's done a good job at Tottenham, but at the end of the day, he hasn't won anything.
But he's on a shoestring budget.
From Levy, yes, he's on a shoestring budget, but he's also got fantastic players at his disposal.
They weren't fantastic until he came in.
I'd
He
agree.
made them better. Who'd heard of Harry Kane before?
I
Pochettino?
honestly didn't hear of him.
Well, possibly Pochettino's got him ticking, but you know, under another manager, would he have done the same? You know, would
We don't know, but I still believe United need a more progressive manager, because we're in an era now where football is constantly changing. But you look to managers like Guardiola, like Klopp, like Pochettino to a certain extent. These are managers that are moving forward with the game. I don't exactly see Solskjær as a revolutionist. I don't see him as someone that's going to come in with all these new tactics and this way of moving Manchester United forward, which ultimately, you know, this is the worst Manchester United era for decades. And I think you need someone to come in, strip it down, and say this is where football is going.
I mean, I wouldn't say that even someone like Guardiola was a revolutionist. You know, he got his tiki-taka football from Cruyff.
Yeah.
You know, there isn't an evolution of football.
But
of
his
course,
City team's just.
but I think Ollie, with he's done the very best of what he knows about the game and about the players. He clearly knows them inside out. He worked with them when they were in the reserves, when they were in the underage kids. It shows that he's very tactically astute about everything. He was very tactically astute as a player, and I think he's going to be exactly the same as a manager. I can't see this sort of run stopping unless we lose against Burnley tomorrow. Let's just hope that doesn't happen. But I think he's got every asset. He's very young. Let's not forget he's 45. Eddie Howe's 40 as well. Everyone raved about him being. Eddie
Helps that he's English as well. If I'm honest.
Well, he's a terrific job in it. But I think he's got so much to learn, and managers keep going till they're in the 70s. Look at Fergie, look at Roy.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a superb.
But I think what Liam's saying as well is there time for him to develop in such a competitive job
At Manchester United.
Yeah, will Man U give him the time? Because
Yeah.
it's no longer Manchester United Football Club, it's Manchester United. It's an organisation, it's a business that wants to succeed, it wants to be in Champions League, it wants to be competing. And if he's there, just give me more time, do you think he'll get that time?
I mean, Mourinho got 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Well, 2.5. Let's say 2.5.
Mm.
Van Gaal got far too much time, so I think he will. I think he'll get the time. I think Fergie might have a little bit of impact as well.
Yeah.
I reckon.
But do you think
He has
Fergie's
it.
power's still there? Do you think?
Yeah, he's omnipotent, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's United's.
But obviously, none of us are like, we don't know what goes behind closed doors.
No, we
don't
don't,
see
but-
who holds.
but I
the power.
think
maybe that does play an impact because I highly doubt that Mourinho and Van Gaal let Ferguson have any impact.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm sure Solskjaer is a lot more open to it.
Yes, Solskjaer's. He always says, he always wants
Yeah.
advice from Fergie.
Yeah.
So I think he's trying to implement that Fergie era.
Surely,
It's a bit
when you look into your manager for
iffy.
inspiration, do you listen to him and go, oh yeah,
Oh, let me just ask my old teacher.
just asking.
No,
yeah.
I don't think he does that.
It's like if you went to a surgeon and you cut you open, and you just let me ask the other surgeon.
Well, not really, is it? Because he clearly knows what he's doing. But
Yeah.
if he wants a little bit of inside knowledge, about how to deal with certain
Yeah.
situations
He
and
goes to
stuff,
see Fergie.
I don't
Would
see
Ferguson
why
have ever asked
you
anyone
should-
for advice?
Well, I don't know who he knew back then, to be
Mm.
honest. But I'd imagine in his younger days,
Yeah.
possibly.
Believe
And I reckon as he got older, he got more firm, didn't he?
Mm.
Fergie got more.
Like,
I think the same will happen. I think Solskjaer he's a very good manager. If you've got the access to that kind of knowledge, you're not going to
Yeah.
waste it, are you? Let's be
Yeah.
honest. If you have Fergie sat
But I
in, you're going to
can't-
ask him. Aren't
There's
you?
two things I can't imagine Ollie like making a big transfer move. You know what I mean? I can't imagine him getting that centre back
That is
United
that is
need.
one of the problems with United is that he needs more power with the transfers. He needs a lot more. Like he even says that he's not very involved with the January stuff,
Yeah.
which I think
because
as the manager you should.
yeah, because we got PSG on Infer soon,
Yeah.
and the issue is Mbappe against Phil Jones. No one would like to see that, really, because every time Mbappe's just going to run past him, in my opinion.
Well,
I don't-
perhaps,
I
but
can't see a
it
defender
depends
at
how, depends how
United.
if you set up deeper against PSG, then they're not going to make runs in behind you. They
Yeah.
can't. They don't have space.
Yeah.
I think Ollie and Mike, Kieran and Michael will. They'll get. I think we'll get a decent result out of
Yeah.
them, even if it's not a win. I think we can shit out a draw.
Yes! Woohoo! Last one before we go, I just want to ask, if Ollie didn't get the job, who would you like to see come in and why? I know it's hard for you as a Chelsea
I'll let
fan.
you answer first.
If it wasn't Ollie,
You're going to say someone like Ian Holloway or something like that.
it's tough to say in this kind of maybe like someone like Allegri, maybe.
Really? Why?
I like Allegri. I like his because he's always known for his defensively minded teams as well as being brilliant in attack.
Yeah.
If you got the
But
likes
he has the
of,
calibre of players to do that.
he's got the caliber. Yeah, but I reckon he's the caliber of manager that would be able to bring in that caliber of player. Like you say, that might be a problem with Ollie, but
yeah.
he's a very well-known character.
Mm.
United is it's the richest club in the world.
Yeah.
It's a huge history. I don't think in the long run he'll have too many problems. I personally don't think so. No.
Liam, who do you bring in? He's going to say something.
Allegri is an interesting shout.
Big Sam.
Certainly, but
Route 1 football lads, come on. Fish and chips.
Fellaini up
Fellaini just bagging them in.
you're talking very tactically astute, this is what you have to do, this is how you execute it, that's what you see at Juventus all the time, and again it comes down to the attitudes of the players. Does Paul Pogba want to be told, this is what you do? He did it very well under Conte at Juventus, but I think that's kind of where the players eventually lost it with Mourinho, and maybe it'd be a similar thing.
Well, I think Pogba's discipline goes as far as have a free role. I think that should be his discipline. That should be his position. I think.
But do you think other players might feel that?
Well,
having a free role-
like you see in the last few weeks, obviously, as he's put Matic and Herrera, he's letting Herrera do all the running around, all the Kante stuff. Do you know what I
Matic
mean?
looks like a different type of fridge now, doesn't he? Like a Smeg fridge from John Lewis. He's still a fridge in my books. He's still not.
He's difficult to get past. But
Yeah.
He might need to work on a couple of things, but I think that the whole bringing in Herrera, put him next to Matic, solid, have like a terrier chasing up and down. Herrera's full of energy, never going to stop. But then you've got Pogba to break. He's quick, he's strong, he's tall. He's got the range of passing. He's got a shot on him as well. I think he won't have too many.
Go on, last point.
If you're asking me who, as a Chelsea fan, I would be worried about the most if United hired in the long term, I probably would say Pochettino, because I think it'd take.
I wouldn't disagree.
I think it'd take maybe a year or two, but I think in the long term, I think he would get you ticking. he's got a great record of using his youth team, his academy players, and bringing them in and improving them, which is apparently the Man United way. So
unlike Chelsea,
It is,
might as well just work in the stands.
that'll be the next podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Pochettino probably is the best shout. Again, I don't want to take anything away from Solskjær. I think in the short term he's done a fantastic job, as well as anybody could have expected.
Yeah.
There's only 8 games, there's a long way to go in the season, and I think if United were to get caught up in the emotion of this good run and he'd give him the role full time, I think that would be a mistake.
Well, we'll leave it there for today. Make sure as well you check out AAIC, Instagrammer who designed our logo. We're going to link him down below. Make sure you support him because he designed us a pretty cool logo, if I'm honest. And make sure you stay tuned to the rest of Dynamo Muppet FC, and hope you enjoyed this podcast. Thank you. And Mooney the camera. You can, yeah, go play foot champs,
No,
you nerd.
We're going to have a beer and a cuddle.
Can I? I want to.